Well, hello again, everyone. Welcome back to another moment of a daily dose of hope. There is kind of a serious soberness about these times. Our leaders have enough to worry about without me adding to all the noise. People that I talk to, they seem to range in responses from Chicken Little that the sky is falling to others who have just shut down and just kind of put their head in the sand. As for me, I want to understand what's going on, but I don't want to be upset by it. Now, to be clear, it's not celebration time yet. That will come. It'll be a sober celebration for sure, but it will come nonetheless. In the meantime, I want to live my life mindful, but not distracted. I want to be involved with the things that are going on in our world, but I don't want to be inattentive to who I am and what I do. In other words, I want to remain calm, but carry on. In the 1st century BC, in the early part of the 1st century AD, athletic games were staged in Olympia, Greece. I saw yesterday that the Summer Olympic Games that were scheduled for Tokyo have been postponed for a year. My wife and I walked on those grounds when we visited Greece a couple of years ago. And I thought about the imagery that Paul spoke of when he said these words. I press on toward the goal to win the prize for which God has called me heavenward in Christ Jesus. And that comes from Paul's pen to the Philippians in chapter 3, verse 14. Well, think about it this way. Your plans will never be perfectly formed. You will never be totally ready. You'll never have all the money that you think you need or all the support that you wish you had. You'll never feel as strong and prepared as everyone else seems to be. You'll never have a path without any challenges and obstacles. So we just keep moving toward our beautiful ambitions, our goals and our dreams and the person we want to become. In other words, as Paul said, we press on, we pursue the goals that we have. Now, I'm not there yet, but I'm moving toward trying to be a newer, kinder, humbler version of Jody Burgin, even in the midst of this pandemic. A patient who is a lifelong fisherman, he recently gave me some sage advice about how to live life. He said, I just paddle my way through life. Just paddle? What do you mean? I asked. Well, he explained, I just try to stay in motion. Forward motion allows you to steer and turn more easily. Paddling is what puts you in charge of any situation instead of just being at the mercy of the current. No one has every last thing that they need, but the people who change their lives, the people who change others' lives, the people who make beautiful things, the people who make a beautiful difference in our world, they are the people who just paddle. They may not do it perfectly, but they've learned to give up perfect in favor of good. So even in the midst of this very unusual climate that we find ourselves in, figure out what your next move is going to be and just paddle towards it. Everyone's going to be remembered for what you do the next 10 days. None of us will be remembered for what we only planned to do. So for me, the most important thing that I can do in these sober times is just paddle. Make sense? I hope so.